Hello everybody, this is Zach Rollins, and today in this video I want to talk about something that can go a really long way towards making your playing sound a lot cleaner and more controlled. Now if you've been practicing scales or playing single note lead lines for any amount of time, and if you've gotten to the point where maybe you can play it cleanly, where there's no fret buzzing and your dynamics are controlled, but at the same time there's kind of a muddy quality to your playing that you just can't quite make go away no matter how hard you try to play cleanly. Now what this very well may be is just simply unwanted string noise and vibrations that happen as a result of what are called sympathetic vibrations, where one string may ring just because another string is being played at the same time. Now thankfully there are a couple of subtle things that you can do with both of your hands, depending on where you're playing on the neck, to make this unwanted string vibration go away completely so that you can take your playing from sounding like this to sounding like this. So to learn how to do this, we're just going to be using a simple 2-octave C major pentatonic scale, 2 notes per string. And you'll see that as I play the first 2 or 3 strings of that scale, so far it's sounding pretty clean because all that I'm doing is laying my first finger across the whole neck and all of the strings, even the ones that I'm not playing, just enough to stop them from doing any sympathetic vibrations. And you'll notice that even though I have to keep my first finger just a little bit flat to do that, I still have a perfectly reasonable range of motion for playing with all of my other fingers even while I'm doing this. Now as we move up this scale, you'll notice that it becomes really impractical to try to use your first finger to mute the strings that you're not playing anymore. Otherwise you'll have to do this awkward half barring while you play the other strings just to try to get the other ones from not ringing. Instead, what you can do, as you move up to the higher strings, you can take your first finger off and instead use your right hand to just gently hover over and lightly touch those strings that you're not playing anymore to keep them from ringing out. Otherwise it sounds like this. Instead, as you play, by the time you get to the 4th string, start to just subtly move your wrist over that 6 and that 5 string, and as you move up to the 3, the 2, and the 1, just keep your wrist lightly touching those parts of the strings to keep from any unwanted string vibration. And you can play up there as long as you want without any string ring, as long as you have your wrist just anchored in that same position, covering all those strings. And as you move back down the scale, you can subtly transition by moving your wrist away so that you don't have to keep your wrist in that awkward position while playing the lower strings, and then taking your first finger back in and utilizing that to mute those higher strings that you're not playing anymore as you play on the lower strings. Now if you've been playing for a while with more of a floating right hand above the strings, as I like to call it, then it's going to take some time and some very intentional practice, whether it be running scales up and down the neck or just playing solos and lead lines that you know on the higher strings, so that you can get into the habit of just instinctively putting that part of your wrist or the bottom part of your hand down on those strings that you're not playing, and then getting a clean, even sound every time. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and if you'd like to keep up with any new tutorials or jams that I come out with, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you'd also like to set up for a free first lesson with me, then you can contact me at zrollinsguitarlessons@gmail.com with the information in the description below. Thank you so much, and happy playing.